And welcome everyone to an exciting episode of Riding Through the Unknown. I'm your host, Michael, and I know we said there'd be 3 guests tonight. One is on their way. As usual, when dealing with time zones, time gets confusing, so she is on her way. So be patient with us. And tonight, I have a very special episode in mind for everyone. And I have to say, I am beyond grateful to have both these guests on the show. Ah, here she is.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry.
Oh, you're perfect. I was just introducing what tonight's episode's about.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't nervous. I knew she would show up.
Running behind.
So tonight's topic for all of you who are fans of this show is we are going to look into the history of the secret space program, and we're going to try and discover if there are links to ancient civilizations like Lemuria, Mu, Atlantis, the Greeks, Sumerians, all of them. So we're gonna go on an adventure. So I hope everyone is buckled up, got some water, and ready to go. And before we delve into the history, I am going to give these guests an opportunity to introduce themselves again. Priscilla, you will remember, was season 2, first episode.
Yeah.
So she's back. And Nova Bell made her first appearance last week, so both returning guests. So grateful to you both. So I will let you guys take it from there.
Good. Okay. We can't hear you super well. I don't know if your mic is maybe just, for until it's your turn. So I'm Priscilla. Nice to be here. Really good. I'm really excited to be with Nova because I haven't, interacted with her in a long time, and I love her very much. She's, we know each other for, most of us, we know each other from other realities and all that, but some, it's like, it's like when you meet them, it's like you always knew them. So it was kind of like that with her when we met, and we have a lot of things in common, like our kids and, in our normal life. And yeah, I mean, lately, well, I can say a little bit, my background and everything. I practice regressive hypnosis. I'm an experiencer. I have a lot of videos on my platforms with, craft and high strangeness, I would say. A lot of phenomena that's kind of, I'm used to it. And even today, like, I'm just going to say something. It was it's crazy because, you really get used to whatever is around you. And my kids, they're really used to seeing the crafts like all the time. They don't care. Like, it's unimportant for them. And today we went, to the store. There were a lot following us because I guess, they kind of know when we're going to have a show or something. Because usually when I'm to do a show with other people, there's a lot of them. And tonight it was like that, And I was like showing them. I was like, look, guys. And they're like, yeah. So what? So it's kind of paradoxical, I'd say, because in the same time, it's like everybody's going around their business, and us, the people that are, aware and conscious of all this, it's like we really need to learn to mingle with all of it, So yeah, I can let Nova go, and
Okay, hopefully you can hear me better. I'm not sure how to fix it.
Mhm.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nova Bell. I am Starseed. I guess that's like I said last time.
Yeah. Don't you think we're like hybrids, maybe?
I think so. Like I said last time, I feel like it's something like I can't say.
We have DNA in our blood. I mean, You know, me, I didn't decide one day like doing this. It was like it just happened. So
Right.
sorry to. I
No, you're good.
just don't think you're
Um,
like a starseed. It's just like not that starseeds are not. I mean, us, it's like really intense. That's what we were saying on on another show. Like we touch the people that are in the SSP. We're into all of it because it's all of it. Like the
it
government
is.
stuff, the esoteric stuff, the occult stuff, the spiritual stuff, the metaphysics and quantum physics, and name it, like all of it.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
ultra, the mind, the gangs talking, and hallelujah. Name it.
Right.
Real, it's crazy. And
The
It
plus
is.
ultimate
us,
rabbit hole.
yeah, and plus
It
us, we
really
have
is.
like the kids. I'm yelling. I'm sorry. Like I'm speaking loud. People are sleeping. We don't want to wake them up.
Right.
It's hard not to get excited, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
Right.
we have the hybrid kids also, and the like neurodivergent, whatever, and we are as well. But when we were kids, it was like we're little brats, right? And now all the kids are neurodivergent if they're not like whatever. Anyway, so we
Right.
have that on top of it. Well, it's okay because it's meant to be. Because Nova too, her kids, they activated her. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you speak. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. No. Like that. Actually, that's been a big one for me with my kids.
Yeah.
With my first kid, I remember having recalls,
I
and
can't hear you
I.
super well. Like maybe you
Sorry.
should. Yeah.
Is that any better?
Yeah.
Okay. So with my first son, I had him when I was 20, and
Yeah.
I was having recalls. Like that was way before I knew anything about the SST or anything like that. But I was having recalls of soldiers coming in and taking him,
Wow.
from me.
And you
And
had no idea about the soldier stuff. So you had dreams about the soldiers coming to take
yeah, yep. And
Tristan?
then Trenton, yep. And
Tristan,
then
sorry.
later, years later, when he was maybe 5,
Mhm.
I had happened to be moving, and I came across this certain spot along the road as we were traveling to my new home, where
Yeah.
it looked super familiar. And then the place where they were taking him from, it was a bed and breakfast, and that place, I shit you not, was
And
right
it looked
outside
like
the
that. It was
town
like
I
this
moved to.
farm, right? It's like this farm, right?
Kinda, yeah. Yep,
Mm.
it was out right outside the town I was living at. So like I seen the place that I had
Yeah,
the
that's
recall from.
crazy.
Hmm.
Like, so she had dreams about like guys, soldiers taking her son when he was a kid, a baby, and like driving to a new place, a new town, right? Is
Yep,
it? Okay.
yep,
And then like you see the place in your dream kind of, or you kind of feel it, like eerie kind of feeling. I get it,
for
right?
sure, yeah,
And
yes.
if I remember, you told me like that you had even investigated or something like on the third dimensional level with that place, right?
Huh. Like went back and looked at it.
Mm.
I never like, so yeah, we had drove by, but I never got enough guts to actually go there and check
What
the
did you
place
tell me
out.
about it? You told me something about the people that lived there or something,
Oh, they had shut the whole place down. It
right?
got shut down the last time, I think. I don't remember
What do you
if
mean
I,
shut down though? Oh, because it was a bed and breakfast, right?
yeah, yep.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's so weird, right? Bed and breakfast gets shut down. I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
like spitting. I'm like, oh boy. What kind of toast you were serving, huh?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Wonder
Wow.
what excuse they came up with.
I'm not sure. I
You
I
should
might
look it
have
up
looked
though.
in.
You should look it up like in the newspaper or something. I'm sure
Mm.
you could find the information, I'm sure.
Be
Or
like one
kind
of
of.
their see if it's one of their favorites. Oh, there's a gas leak,
Is that
so we have to
something,
close
right?
this down.
When you like
Right.
meet, I think it's what's his name? I'm not gonna remember his name, but he has like a lot of memories of exactly like towns and stuff that he had in other lives, and um, he was in the military. His name's gonna come back maybe. Anyways, that's crazy, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, when we met, we had a lot of like uncertainties, and together we were able to like really like cross-reference. And I know that for me, you know, I don't have doubts on a lot of things. Certain things I'm still not sure, you know, but like, and even with other people, I saw that you know, there was people in the chat that might know that I'm referring to them, but there's a lot of the girls like in the SSP that we were like in the lineages of certain druidic lines or like
Bloodlines.
yeah, well, it's more like I think it is bloodlines because you know, but it's also like
Energy
etheric,
lines too.
yeah, etheric descent of certain frequency, like Emerald Covenant, you know, Emerald Ray, and you know the high priestesses and all that. You know, we all do, but certain of us just contain more of the energy in our physical bodies, literally. So that's what happens. You know, we have like strong awareness and remembering of other parallel past, whatever, because it's all kind of at the same time, you know. But we need to like understand it in a linear way, so it's like past lives, but it's like parallel at the same time. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of a great segue to talking about like the ancient civilizations. I mean, we look at the legends of Atlantis,
Yeah.
Lemuria, Mu. And I've often
Everything's linked.
wondered, is Mu and Lemuria the same or are they two different?
Well, I'm not an expert, but I think that Mu is like Hawaii or something, right?
Well, Lemuria is by Japan, so that could be
Yeah.
Hawaii too. So
Exactly.
that's why I've often
It's like
wondered.
the crescent, you know, there's like a sacred fire.
The Ring of Fire, right?
Yeah, the ring of fire. Thank you. So that's Lemuria moon, or it can be also like, um, I think it's like ancient Africa. You know, like these tribes that are, you know, descent of there.
Really, I would have thought Africa would be more of Atlantis.
Hmm.
I feel like I've seen a map once of Lemuria and Mu, and I feel like they were, I want to say they were the same, but like they were different but together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because like it's like I think the different epochs have the switching of the continents, maybe, or like something moving, or even like parallel realities. You know, like that aren't exactly the same, or like we weren't really there, and all of us really don't perceive everything the same. You know, like all the truths are just half truths. Like, you know, in Hermetic teachings, it's like nobody has the perspective of this you know, conduit, if we can call it like that, you know, our consciousness. So of course we agree on group, you know, um, agreements, because it would be really crazy. But I think that if you go with Rudolf Steiner and Lemuria and even like Gigi Young, they explain really that it's yes places but also densities and really different types of humans, you know, like it wasn't we weren't we were physical, but it wasn't the same. Like let's say Rudolf Steiner, he explains that, I'm just gonna close my eyes to try and not butcher it. Yeah, let's say like when you're kind of walking in the astral and you're walking in a space that you know. So let's say like your house, okay? Well, everything is still going to be there, but it's going to be slightly different, or, you know, the same, but you're going to interact with it differently. So in the Lemurian age, Rudolf Steiner would be like, well, if there was a rock, the Lemurian human, I don't think he calls it the human, but it would have to, it wouldn't see like with his eyes, it would still see with his body and energy, you know, like it was like really more like that, if that can make sense.
It does, and I look at like a lot of the advancements that they say we had in Atlantis, Lemuria.
Not just that, like, yeah, but
Well,
like
but where I was going to say
Tartaria.
is, yeah,
Right?
Tartaria. It's
Mm,
like, that was erased from history. And
mm,
we have maps that prove it because we've seen where it's actually still on a map, but then it's
mm.
off the maps. And so it's like, how
Well,
do you
there's a
explain
lot of
that?
different documentations about the locations of other continents or other worlds beyond the wall. The
Oh yeah.
it's the Smoky God. You know that novel, The Smoky God? It was written like late 1800s, early 1900s. So these types of, like, I cannot not be sure again because I wasn't there, but according to what my understanding, these documents are less like tampered with or messed with. So you can like, and when you have a few different, um, places that you can kind of cross-reference, and you kind of make yourself an idea. And yeah, in that novel, it's like a fisherman, a son and his dad, and they cross at a certain moment. I think it's in spring where the ice melts and they can actually pass there. And usually they don't, and they meet with giants, with the inner earth rulers kind of thing. Yeah, and there's also another one that's really, really good, and I get all excited. I almost drooling, man. Oh man, these novels are. I mean, the story about it's. He talks about Saint Germain again. It's in the early. I think it's 1970s, maybe a little bit earlier. It's I don't know the title, something like the mystical world, or it's not that, but it's not Saint Germain something. I will share it after, when I'll look it up when Nova talks
I
or
think
something.
like the Way of Mastery or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
yeah, you know what I mean, right? It's
yeah,
yeah, he meets with Saint Germain, and it's so amazing. Like Saint Germain comes and gives him little notes and everything in his room, tells him to go there, and he goes and he meets up with a panther, like a real panther, and he's like, "Oh my God." And he faces it because he tells himself, "Listen, Saint Germain told me to go there, and he's not gonna let me die." Like, so he kind of trusted it. And yeah, he goes inner earth, and they explain like the realms there and how it is, and the statues, and it's super well. Like, yeah. So all this, um, yeah, it's fiction, but there's a lot of other historical stuff, and all the pictures of like even the old world, which is not so far behind.
yeah. And I feel like a lot of truths to be shared have to be mixed with a ton of fiction. So it's like
Well, it's
they
slow,
won't
slow
allow it to
disclosure.
come out. But if it looks like it's part of fiction, they're like, oh, yeah, you can totally
Mm.
publish that. We're fine with that.
Well, there's different reasons for that, but it's always a double-edged sword. You wanted to say something, sis?
No, no, no. It's just agreeing.
Because, like, let's say you're a producer and you're like, yeah, we're going to produce a movie fiction. So people, if they get on to that information, they're going to say, oh, it's from the movie. Yeah, okay, yeah. You're going to question, oh, maybe it's from the movie. But also it creates like a possibility, deja vu, like a cross-reference, even if it's fiction. Sorry, but your brain still associates that it saw this somewhere. Like it's not impossible, you know.
Yeah. I
So,
think Nova and I were talking about that. It's planting a seed,
mhm.
and then whether they let it grow or not, it's up to them. But the seed's been planted, so it's there, whether they nurture it or not.
Yeah,
Right.
it's gonna do something, you know.
And one thing I'm curious about Nova and Priscilla is, when we talk about ancient civilizations,
Mhm.
there's one that I feel like never gets talked about at all, period. And that is Who was on Antarctica when it was a green island and not the frozen ice that were using all of their equipment and bases?
Hmm. Um, I don't think it's gone, that part. I think it's beyond the ice more, you know? Like if I am correct with what is documented, again, I haven't been there, you know, with my own eyes, but I think that beyond the wall, and that's what they say in the novel also, that the temperature is like it's different, you know? It if I may, I have no idea what I'm saying. This is for entertainment purposes only, but the weather, you know, is kind of like messed with. So maybe it's like purposefully cold there and hot there. Who knows? Like it's kind of holographic reality anyway, so they could probably do whatever at that point, you know, when you kind of understand this part that's holographic, like there's no limits really to what you can create with a digital like game, right? So I guess kind of
Right.
similar to a certain degree. People cannot understand like when it surpasses normal science. So they're like, oh no, but blah blah blah. Yeah, but I mean, let's say the rules are different, because at that point, if you understand that the CIA, you know, has released documents, multiple, let's say that it's a hologram, it's holographic.
Right.
And double slit experiment proved it. And the quantum entanglement, that like particles, if you, I don't know how they do it, the quantum entanglement, they don't explain that part. Like I would really want to know how they do it, but they say that when they entangle them, you know, it's like there's no space time, it's direct. And I believe it, because when you remote view or astral project with only your consciousness, no body, not with your astral body, no flying, it's just like instantaneous, and you're there. So
Yeah. I take the opinion they don't know how to quantum entangle. And I
well,
think it's us that, you know, we're
how do they
trained and
observe it though? Because they observed it and they document it. And is it just like a how they say it, a theory?
well, it could be like the experiment they did in Russia where they had a plant in one room and a plant like down the hall far
Mm-hmm.
from another plant. And
Okay.
whenever they would put heat on the lamp, the other plant would scream. And when they
Okay.
watered it, the other plant sang.
Did they know each other? Like
No,
they met the plants? No.
no, they were saying that they were quantum entangled, but they didn't know how they were
Really?
communicating between each other. But the
Oh
plants
my
were
God.
communicating and sharing, hey, this guy's hurting me.
Maybe
So
it's
the other
only a
plant,
matter of like particle, um, like matter, like the components of it. I don't know, man. That would be no. I'm gonna look into that. That's crazy. I want to know. Like,
That is interesting.
right?
Yes.
I mean, if anybody knows, like, tell us, please. Because, like, again, us with what we kind of do with the metaphysics, it's not like anybody explained it to us really and told us, okay, you do this because of that and that and that. It's kind of happens, you know, and we learn to navigate it, but we don't really know the math of it. Maybe, like, if that can.
don't ask me to do any math. I am
No,
not
no,
your
but I mean,
math person.
I'm just trying to say it in a way that you understand what I mean. Like, I don't know the, I guess the math of it, right? I don't know the formula. It's the math. Sorry. Sis.
What? I'm listening to you. I'm listening. I got lost there for a
Yeah, you're making me feel
second.
ashamed now. It's not stop
No,
talking.
no.
Yeah, so
No, I'm really engrossed in what you're saying.
I'm trying to look it up to see if I can find it real quick.
Oh, cool. Cool. Because, you know,
To
like
me,
also, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
it's just like it reminds me of like their consciousness is like kind of linked or something, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I mean, how do they like observe it in a way that they can document it, or like observe it in a way that it's how do you say that, like definable, or um yeah. And if it would be just quantum, that would mean that all the planets, all real, that's too much. Like you can't, you know, or is it
Yeah.
that? I don't know. Questions. Write those down.
Right.
Go ahead.
The reason I was, contemplating who was at, Antarctica is because
Yeah.
I know a lot of people talking about either being in New Schwabenland or on
Well,
the
New
American
Schwabenland
side.
is mainstream, right? Like Melania Trump comes from there, right? It's documented. This is known, Jon Snow. This is known.
New Schwabenland is the German territory on
Yeah.
Antarctica.
Hmm.
I didn't know Melania was from Antarctica.
You didn't know that?
No.
I
Wow,
didn't
isn't it
either.
interesting indeed? And how her son is super tall and everything? Ooh.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
I did not
wondered
know that.
Right.
Hmm.
Coincidence.
Well, there you go. But where I was posing the thought is people were saying they were using Antarctica as a jump point to walk up to the moon bases
For sure.
or teleport to the moon bases. And I was like, if
There's so
you're
many.
walking out of our atmosphere into space to another place,
That's not how it works.
that's technology we
Yeah.
don't have. Who built it? And
They
whose
have
are we
jump rooms.
using?
They have jump rooms. Like me, I haven't talked about like Arkham Ra. I hope I didn't butcher your name, dear.
Archimra.
Arkham Ra. Yeah, I know. He's like, I'm sorry.
I love you.
I'm sure he'll forgive you.
Yeah, I'm sure now he will. But, he would know more than me, and a few others would know more than me. But there are definitely places they were talking about it the other day with the stars on the ground and everything, and a certain place. And there's like places that you walk in, go in an elevator, and going down, right? And you end up on another reality, But I'm not sure that you're in. You don't travel in space. It's like a portal. You know what I mean? It's like, and I've listened to so many whistleblowers and stuff talk about all these like technologies. I literally have a picture of a being running out of a portal in my field in front of my house. Like I've shown you this, right? Both of you.
Oh, I've seen so many of your
Remember?
pictures. They're amazing.
Ah,
No, but
here
you
it
see a
is.
guy, he's like running like that, okay? And there's a circle, and it's like it's so funny because it looks like like on the bathrooms, the girl and guy kind of depiction that guy, but he's like running like out of the You're like okay, and there's like another behind him. I don't know if it's still his energy like merging or if it's another one running after him. That's so funny, like who knows.
Yeah, I found the original test and for what I was talking about with the plants. What
Okay.
year do you think it happened?
Oh man, 1914.
No, you're a little too far back.
Okay.
Nova,
The 80s.
1966 on February
Oh,
2nd.
Huh.
wow.
Well, that tells you how long this stuff has been repressed from us.
Yeah. But I'm sure it's from way before and they just didn't document it or something because these things they keep repeating and like destroying it and again and destroying it. Hey, talking about
Time loop.
destroying,
All right, let me see if I can put it in.
I heard that in like in the Holocaust and everything, they said that they burnt all the books. It was like transgender books. Did you know about that?
No.
Yeah. And you have all these pictures like in Germany that they were like pushing for the it's Mind Unveiled, I think. I got that from that channel. Yeah.
Oh, it won't let me share the whole quote. But it
Oh.
says for Cleve Baxter, it was early in the morning of February 2nd at I love when they do military time. At 13 minutes 55 seconds into a polygraph test he was administering, Baxter, leading a polygraph expert who was Beck. Where'd it go?
The thing is that, yeah, I mean, they put information like that to convince the people that need information like that. So it's okay. It's good, if the polygraph says it. Right.
Yeah. And so the zone commission test and worldwide for lie detection had a moment threatened his test subject's well-being. The subject responded electrochemically to his threat. The subject was a plant.
Wow. And when they say electromagnetically, it's because the polygraph, that's what it gets. It gets your chemicals that you're producing, because sometimes you can not show it, but your chemicals in your body, they don't lie, like, right? You're producing serotonin or like adrenaline and I don't know,
Endorphins.
endorphins. Yeah, well, and I don't know if you produce endorphins, because endorphins, it's like when you're fighting pain. So maybe I don't know exactly what cocktail is, but I know that adrenaline and like you know, dopamine maybe.
Well, for
It's kind of
us,
like
it would
when you're
probably be more
excited.
adrenaline, probably for
Yeah,
us.
I guess, yeah. And the plant, wow, right? But I for
Yeah.
sure, did you see the video that I have the plant? It's like there's no wind, and I have just one leaf of my
Oh,
plant
yeah.
just going
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
like that. And I'm like, oh my God, for a while. And then I put my hand, and it was like,
That
okay,
was way cool.
yeah. And
Yeah.
some people are like, oh my God, that's scary. I'm like, really? It's a house plant, man. Like, it's not gonna.
Yeah, but
Yeah. But it's more like they think that it's like haunted or something, and I'm like, no, man, it's like it's just a manifestation linked like to me, probably, because it's
right.
always according to you. So if you're scared about like ghosts and you're always like feeling scared and stuff, like you're just matching the frequency, for them to have fun, I guess. What would you do if you were a ghost? Like, I'd probably go and mess with people.
Oh, I'd
Right?
be traveling the world.
Sometimes, depending on my days. Some days I'd
Right.
go help them, and some days I'd just go mess with them.
I'd be like traveling the world and
Yeah,
going in
but
the
some
water,
don't even
seeing if I
know.
can sink and how
Yeah,
far
some
down I
don't
can
even know
go.
they're dead. Like, some don't even know that there's other stuff than their reality that they're kind of stuck in. They don't know about death or life or nothing. They just think it's the reality that they see there. Like, they don't think that they can pass a certain place according to the rules they make themselves, kind of thing. How many like kind of ghosts that I liberated, like, but like proposed to them, and they always have a choice, to do it or not. It's not like I talk to them. It's just like thought transferring. But yeah,
Right.
sis, she has a lot of experiences with ghosts and stuff too. Come on,
A little bit.
open your
I'm
bag,
so
spill the beans, man.
I'm so sorry. I love listening to you. My day was long, and I'm just like totally enjoying listening to you.
Yeah, I
No,
love you. I
yeah,
miss you a lot.
I miss you like crazy too.
Hmm.
I do experience a lot of weird things. There was not. It's probably been half a
Like
year
when you
now.
were a kid, right?
Oh yeah, as a kid, even now, I
Now,
experience weird things that happen.
tell me,
Yeah.
tell us.
Uh, well, like when I was a kid. As a kid, I could see them.
Yeah.
So, like my grandparents, my grandpa had a farmhouse that his family had built. The whole
Okay.
family was born there. After
And
or
did they
he was born
bury
there.
like your family on the land, like, right?
No, they didn't bury the family on the land that I'm aware of, but they were born there, and a few of them had died there. But I used to see the dishes like floating up and being put away and stuff, and I remember one time it scared me, and I asked Grandpa, what the heck's going on, and he's like, oh, it's our family helping out. Like it was normal to him too.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
exactly. You get used to stuff. Like,
right, right. Well, and when I was real young, it was normal. It wasn't scary, but as you start to get older and everybody's like,
yeah.
oh, that's not real, then you're like, what the hell's wrong with me then?
Yeah. You block
Because I'm
it, or
seeing
you,
this.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it scared me bad, like to the point where like I was praying for all of my gifts to be shut off, and they were for a while. Like I lost
Yeah.
everything for quite a while.
Everything. Yeah. Did you have a lot of lost time? Like when let's say like when you were not aware, and then you thought that you were really like retarded or something?
uh, as a teenager, I'd have times where I felt like I lost. There was one time I was driving home from my boyfriend's house, and
How old were
I
you?
I had to be I had to be like 17 because
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
yeah, I hadn't quite moved out yet, but I was getting close. It was around that time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was driving home and I had seen like it looked like me in the rear view mirror, and it scared the living shit out of me.
Wow. No lie. That's
I had
creepy.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, it was creepy. Like, and I always like sensed things if they were off, and like as soon as I got in the car, something fell off,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even want to drive home, but I did because I didn't want to get in trouble. You know? I seen that, and I about went off the road. And thankfully, you know, my mom was semi open to
Mm-hmm.
the weird experiences that I went through, you know. I mean, she wasn't happy because I ended up stopping the car and turning around. I thought, but I've lost quite a bit of time that time. Like,
Okay.
I thought
Wow.
it was like just like a half hour or whatever, but it was hours.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I understand.
Yeah,
Wow. I can feel it too. Like like now it's going away, but when you started talking about it, I felt like you know.
that was creepy. Yeah, that was a pretty intense moment.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
like I know that you're not like freaked out really easily, but by yourself, like that's a good one. You know, that
Absolutely,
works.
yeah.
That can work. Right?
Well, and seeing yourself, it was like a
Exactly.
distorted version of me at
Yeah.
that. So I'm like, what the fuck? Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, you're
I'm like,
Yeah,
good.
that was intense.
yeah.
I'm kind of curious along this element and this road path, Nova and Priscilla. Do you feel like when we are paranormal investigating or we're experiencing spirits or ghosts or whatever you want to call it
Hmm.
on locations or around us, do you feel like because we've been through the programs and exposed them so much that they recognize that we've been through that and will mess with or interact with us more? Or do you feel like they would never even know about it?
Oh, for sure, they know. I mean, not that they know, but I mean, on a frequency level, our energy is a certain way, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess that, you know, in the um, etheric emanations or maybe even residue, whatever they can read, because I doubt that they go into our energy fields, us, you know, or some maybe they do, but not like me or Nova or people who, you know, actually they're gonna get their ass, you know, but you know, they,
Right.
so for what they can pick up on us, that I guess they don't. Yeah, I know that me they know. I'm gonna speak for myself, you know, of course they know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely our energy.
Because we're never alone. Never less alone than by yourself. Yeah. Right?
Right.
Uh-huh. Because, like,
Yeah.
I can have full blown conversations with myself, kind of, but it's not just like I don't hear voices ever. Ever. Nobody dares come and talk to me. I'm gonna be like, oh, you want to talk, right? Have going into questions. But it's more like, it's more like different me, different aspects of myself, you know? So.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by we're never really alone. We have like crew, you know, like obviously our higher selves and our spirit guides, and depending on everybody. But I mean, if it's connected to you and it interact, like if you channel them, you know, and everything, usually it's because they're kind of in your group.
Yeah.
Or,
And
yeah.
so I'm going to shift topic a little bit here
Mhm.
because I have a question that I want to get your guys' perspective on. And I don't know if I read this or if I had a memory of this or where this information came from. So, full disclosure, I don't know the origin, if it's mine or somebody else's theory, but Atlantis was creating hybrids. They were taking like creatures and mixing like shark and human or shark and lion, and then the island civilization sinks. Do you think that was maybe kind of an origin or a lab for the secret space program, and that they went too far and a benevolent came in and said, nope, we can't go here, not allowed, and put an end to it? Or so they thought.
Again, I'm not, detaining all the truth, but if I look into it like with my intuition or my astral vision or whatever, I really see like Atlantis and Tartaria different. I always come back to Tartaria or like the old world with the hybrids and like what you're saying there, like Dr. What's his name?
Doctor Strange or Dr. Jekyll?
No, not that. The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's more like, if it's more like that you're tapping into, I think it would be more like the old world, because I've seen a lot of information through, again, the Mind Unveiled series. He has a lot on that, and he has a lot on the cloning and on like, oh man, I'm gonna say it. Like they did again at the end of the old world, it was the world fairs. Thank you very much. The world fairs where they expose all these texts and all these incubators and Cabbage Patch Kids and the that's all linked. It's crazy. He goes into deep stuff like that, and the mythological, is that
Mythological.
yeah, mythological aspects of it, like what you would be referring to as an Atlantis time, maybe in the occult ancient texts. There's like the I have an example of like these beings that would be just like with one foot, and he says that they would lay on their back and put the foot like to hide the sun or something. Did you hear about all that? Or like these kind of beings that would be like experimental or atrocities and all kinds of weird weird beings that wouldn't be super kosher, if I may use the term in these times. And Atlantis to me, okay, Atlantis to me is more like, we had attained, technology and occult magic, and it was really mixing, with inner earth or interdimensional kind of epochs. Again, we weren't exactly the same humans, and I think it's linked also to, like the Tuatha De Danann and the Irish mythologies, where they talk about this island that appears and disappears in the ocean, and it's a frequency thing. It's like like the water molecules when they're like ice or water or vapor. It's like another set of rules, if you want.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's the same one the English call Avalon.
Yeah, I think it's linked. I feel that, well, for the elves and the druids and Avalon definitely, and like for me it's, and Atlantis, maybe before it fell, would be an aspect of Atlantis like Avalon, because yeah, it's quantum.
I feel like Lemuria would be more like that. Atlantis. I said I feel like Lemuria would be more like Avalon.
Oh yeah.
I think I do. I feel like it was a little bit more in tune with
Okay.
the magical nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It depends
Yeah.
on what aspect you tap into. Because again,
I
I understand what
yeah.
she's saying because people like in the new age more than like let's say of the you know philosophy or the anthroposophy aspect of it, more in the new age aspect, it would be like what um you know, how can I say this? A narrative. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Mhm.
Mhm. In
And
the sense that Lemuria would be like more like of a um, not extraterrestrial, but like kind of considered ISIS. Is that what you mean? Kind of.
Say that again.
Hmm.
like ISIS.
Lemuria like Isis,
Like the goddess Isis.
right?
That's more, no, that's more like Egyptian. It's more like Anunnaki, Sumerian
Lemuria.
lineage.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Well, I had a guest who has been studying the Anunnaki, and she says if we think about it, Anunnaki is not a race. It's a
It's
cluster of star beings. So if you look at it that
yeah,
way,
it's the
then it
gods.
can explain why they're spread out all over.
And it's all the same gods, like
Yeah.
you
Which
know.
is why I think the Greeks and the
Yeah.
Romans destroyed all the ancient statues of the gods
Mhm.
because they didn't want them to look alike. And so the church was like, we can't have identical gods
Well,
all over the place, so we gotta hide it.
yeah, and the church, it's again, it's just like the bigger group that won the wars, if you want, or they got the rule. You know, they were the rulers. They won the wars, I guess. You know, but they got to decide. You know,
Yeah.
what was what, really. So,
And I actually have a question for Nova,
Hmm.
if she's up for it.
What's that?
So the Greeks have demigods, and the Egyptians have the children of the gods or pharaohs,
Mhm.
and like Osiris was put back together. So do you feel like those are representations of super soldiers in the past influencing things?
That's a good question.
Hmm. Do I feel like those gods were soldiers?
Do you feel like that's like secret space program people interfering with the past and people didn't know how to describe them, so they described them as demigods or children of the gods because
Oh,
they had regeneration, they had all the abilities we talk about,
Mhm.
mhm.
but
And
they
in
were in the
Egypt,
past, and so
they had tech.
Oh
You know,
yeah, big time. Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think that the secret space program has been going on for quite a while. I think that it probably originated with stars, like changed to meet the needs of whoever's running the program. I suppose.
yeah,
What do you
and
think?
What? We can't. I can't. I didn't get the last part.
it came from the stars, and
Did you
Yeah,
say both?
I said I suppose.
Oh, okay.
oh,
Yeah.
suppose,
No,
Sorry.
I didn't hear you.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, when we think about it, I mean, like Osiris, he was chopped up, reassembled, became a god again.
Hmm. He didn't
That's
have a penis
secret
though.
space program.
Uh-huh.
They chop us up, put us back together.
Yeah.
Then you look at like Hercules could stand against a lion or take on a hydra or take on any
Right.
mythical beast.
Yeah, even with
That's
the
what we
puma,
do.
you know.
Right.
Mm,
So yeah, it makes you wonder, like,
yeah.
were a lot of things misidentified, and
It's
we
interpreted
yeah,
accordingly
and
to
we've
the
been
epoch.
public, but not public in the sense that people are like, oh yeah, there's an example of that. There's an example of that. I mean, look
I
at
think they've
UFOs
also.
in
Yeah,
art from the Middle Ages and the Renaissance period. But
Right.
Ezekiel.
everybody's like, now they go, oh, look, there's a UFO. But before is,
Mhm.
nope, that's not a UFO.
Yeah,
Right.
there's different ways to,
Yeah.
you know.
Sorry, Nova, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
I just totally forgot what I was going to say. I think that they've been going back and changing everything too. I mean, cutting out the stuff that they don't want other people to realize that you put pieces of the puzzle together.
We can't hear you.
Sorry.
Temporal wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
I said I
Mandela.
think that the Mandela effect, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the Mandela effect, I remember as a child, so the Bernstein Bears is one of the big ones, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Did you see
remember
the TikTok of the guy who holds the book? He goes into the room and he's like, guys, and his voice is trembling. He's like, look at
I
that.
have
Did you
I
see it?
have seen that one, yes.
Oh
I
my God.
have
He
seen that
goes
one.
into the room and it shifts in the room and it goes back and it shifts like in front of the camera. Like he just like, you can't. And he's like,
Right.
I am having chills up to like under my chin. He's tripping and I was tripping. So I was like, wow, man, that's crazy. Like,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
I
So,
remember though, like being in the school library, and I was
mhm.
in elementary, I was a kid, but I remember being in the school library and it was specifically the Bernstein Bears and maybe even Curious George. But wasn't
Or the,
even Berenstein or Berenstein. It was like bear as like the
the
bear,
monocle on the
Bear, bears, you know?
Yeah.
So, and
Monopoly
you know,
guy.
that's not even brought up. So I don't even know like where the hell that came from, but I have a specific memory of that part, like the
How do you
first part
remember
of
the
the
guy
name.
with the like, oh, like that?
You talking about Rodin's statue of the thinking man?
Yeah. How do you remember it? You?
I remember him sitting on a slab like bench and
Yeah.
having one knee sticking out in front of him straight and down like a
Mhm.
perfect 90, and his arm is resting on the knee and the fist is just under the chin.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And now, how is it? How did I say it is now? Can you look it up?
Oh, I can look it up.
Because I know that it's not like I remember it. You know, and right now in my mind, I see both. Like I can't make my mind up because they mess with my mind now that all the new pictures. They're
So
fucking
it still shows him sitting on like a bench
yeah.
seat,
The only
but
thing that changes.
I was gonna say both feet are pulled back underneath him,
Oh.
and one arm is like resting on the knee,
Mm-hmm.
but the other arm is in midair that's
Yeah.
supporting his chin.
That's
Huh.
weird, right?
Uh-huh.
I remember him like this. I think, like, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
You know, when you think
yeah.
about it, you're not sure, and you're like, yeah, okay.
No,
But I know that I definitely remember the monocle on the Monopoly guy, and I
Oh yeah,
me
definitely
too.
remember the Pittsburgh guy with the blue collar, like the blue
Who?
turned the Pittsburgh.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Uh-huh.
Pillsbury
he has
Doughboy.
yeah, he has a blue
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Didn't he have a sailor shirt on or something?
Oh, he has just a blue turned.
Blue.
You know, like when you take a help me out, sis. How do you call that? And you twist it, and it's like a fucking
A tie.
scout.
Okay.
It's like a scout scarf
Yeah, yeah.
that you
Scarf. Yeah.
you turn.
Kinda.
you know, and you just put it, and sometimes they have this little ring to hold it or something. It's kind of blue, and it looks a little bit like a sailor thing with his hat. Now they say
Yeah.
it's white. Like, nah,
No.
it's white. It's white. It's blue.
It's
I don't know.
blue, actually.
I'll try that
Well,
one.
it's blue and white. I've
blue.
seen pictures of blue and white.
Mm.
And here's one that I want to share with you guys, talking about Mandela effect, that
Mm.
I'm questioning whether or not it's a Mandela effect. In the truest sense, is the Christmas Carol, I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Go sing.
It's, you know, when they say, I'll be home, you can blank on me. What word is in the blank?
Can you help us a little bit? Come on, sing along.
You can count on me.
Okay.
I don't
So,
know.
yeah, actually.
No idea.
So, Bing Crosby has in the first stanza, you can count on me.
Mm-hmm.
The second stanza, it changes to you can plan on me.
Okay.
So they change the word, and so people are now wondering, wait a minute, when did plan become a part of I'll Be Home for Christmas? They all remember it was count. There was never a plan.
But is it both in the song?
It's both.
Okay. But hey, what do you remember from Luke? I am your father.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like I am your father, because we used to, when I was younger, I used to drink, and we used to say that all the time. Luke, you know, like in the ear, I am your father.
Yeah.
Like all the time, so I know. And no, it's not that anymore. It's no, I am your father. I'm like, no.
I heard that. That is so not.
Okay,
Not
and the mirror, mirror on the wall.
Who's the fairest of them all?
But it's now it's magic mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Some of that I wonder, like, I'm an enthusiastic Star Wars fan, and they went in and redid some of the movie. So when they did the special edition, they changed, like, if you remember the first one, like Return of the Jedi, it's the old man who's supposed to represent Vader. Then with the new special edition, it's now Hayden Christensen as Luke's father in the end of Return of the Jedi. And it's like, so it makes me wonder, could they have changed the line?
Say that again, because I'm not following you. The
So
old man, like the old dark lord?
So if you watch the original Return of the Jedi, at the end scene,
how old are you, Michael?
There's the old man, Obi-Wan, and Yoda appear to Luke as Force spirits.
Yeah.
Well, in the special edition, it's Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen, Obi-Wan, and Yoda. And so if they can impose and change a character, it makes me wonder, can they change the dialogue? And that's why people are remembering it differently, is they changed the line. Because they do that sometimes in movies. They'll change something to make it a better version or a special edition. Right. And so it's like, well, what did you do? Well, they're like, well, we erased the look of the ship underneath, so it looks like it's really hot underneath it and it's hovering in the desert. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But now I'm like,
making of, right? That's when you see that.
And so it makes me wonder, could they have tweaked a line or two in the movie to see if people would?
They can do whatever. And they cannot tell
us. Their heads.
Yeah.
And they'd be all sitting together and be like, oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Watch this.
You know, like, we're so good.
I find it funny when we watch movies and then they're like, oh, it's the extended cut. We've added like 2 scenes.
Yeah, editor's cut.
And so you watch the whole movie and you're like, I have no idea what scenes were added.
Or
And I'm like, I feel like I wasted all this time.
they're like,
Yeah.
we're not going
Right.
to change anything, and we're going to play it exactly the same. Watch what they say, and then
Yeah.
they're like, and then people are going to say a bunch of stuff because people are just, well, not everybody, but a lot of people just, you know.
Yeah. And so, and that's the part of what we do, because I wonder if that's what sets programmees off from people who aren't aware, because we spend so much time researching to find answers that it's
Yeah,
like,
but
you put something
also,
like that in front of us, we're going to deep dive that and be like, okay, I want to know the definitive answer now to this,
we
and
had
not
planned
let
to do
up.
it,
But somebody
you
else
know.
may just be like, well, well, they changed this, and so,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And it's like, they just give up. And it's like, wait a minute, you're missing a whole lot more.
Hmm. Well, we planned
But,
to do this, like what we're
yeah.
doing. We came for this, and quote unquote, it's kind of cheesy to say that, but in a sense, yeah, because we had planned to wake up at a certain point, and we knew that we were going to do it. And I know this because, like, this is way too crazy to be like just like random stuff. This is all orchestrated, you know,
There are
carefully.
no coincidences.
Uh-huh. So that's why we really want to know, because we are here for that. That's what, our body and our soul and our drive and our backbone and all of it wants us to like, right? And
Mm-hmm.
other
Yeah.
people, they're like, oh, whoa, that's way out of my program. And it's way out of their program. And it's okay, you know. It's not everybody's cup of
Yeah.
tea.
I'm trying to look something up, because there's a Christmas carol that I didn't realize had a second stanza to it, like a whole
Okay?
nother part. And I'm trying to find it because it talks about something. And
A
I'm like, when I
lot
was
of
looking
songs
at it,
talk about this
going,
stuff.
wait a minute,
Yeah.
how is this in. Sorry, I got a cough drop in my mouth.
It's okay.
How is this in a Christmas song? And I
Yeah.
thought it was Handel's Messiah, but I'm not seeing it in there. But they talk about getting a gun. And I'm like,
Huh.
wait a minute. How is there a gun in a Christmas Carol song?
Yeah,
And
well,
everybody's okay with this and thinking, hey, let's sing this
I just,
song and celebrate it.
what do you think
huh.
about, like, if you're an outsider of Earth, let's say, and you get here, like, let's say you're just a human that hasn't never seen other humans, okay? You were in a secluded area, and then you come and you see, like, we show you our religion, like Catholic, okay? And you see that we have this guy hanging dead on a cross, like, and the person's like, okay. And then you're like, yeah, and we're eating like his skin and everything and his blood, and that's cannibalism, right? Just between you and me, okay? And what, we're celebrating that we killed him? Why is he? That's crazy. Right now, like every time I see Jesus on a cross, like here in Quebec, we have like these people that have these big crosses with Jesus on their lawn, like, and I'm like, oh my goodness, somebody put him down, bring him down, poor guy. Like, right? Is it just
Yeah.
me? That's crazy, right? And we just like, haha, we don't see it. So it
Right.
comes back to the same thing, really,
Yeah,
right?
I agree. It's like, it's so weird
Mm-hmm.
when we look at some of the things that we just are celebrating, and nobody ever thinks, yeah,
Like,
you know,
isn't it gross to see, like, if we really love Jesus and everything, why are we like happy to see this
ah,
guy like hanging? Would you like to see your
Right.
sibling or your family like that? Would you want to keep it like that? What the?
I've
no.
wondered the same.
But I found the song. It's Hallelujah, actually.
Yeah.
And the lyric in the second part that I've never heard, it goes, maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not a cry that you
Pain.
can hear at night. It's not someone who has seen the light. It's a cold and broken hallelujah.
Yeah, nice.
I'm like,
Well, there's
wait a
both
minute.
sides of the story all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, and
Did
people
not know
sing this
that.
in church, and I'm like, what the world?
There's a lot of songs like that
Yeah.
that talk about
Oh, yeah.
really questionable things, and
Oh,
they're singing.
don't even get me started on Santa
Yeah.
Baby. I hate that song. I'm like, it just, you know which one I'm talking about, right?
Santa Baby.
Santa Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wasn't that like Marilyn Monroe?
Aretha Franklin sang it
Okay.
and a bunch of others, but the whole song is about buying me a car, buying me a house, buying a ring for me, just buying everything. It's like a wish list of this woman wanting everything bought for her, and I'm like,
Yeah, well, you don't have kids,
holy
right?
crap.
Children are
No,
like that. My children are really like we've created monsters with these spoiled little kids. I'm telling you, like ungrateful. I love my kids, but I mean, it's crazy. They are way out there with the perspective of whatever, with all they see online and how the other kids, you can tell them what you want, but the other children and all how the society has groomed the parents, and like you're saying, like the perspectives, you see these girls on the internet that are like, oh well, me, I'm just like pretty and he has to pay me for that. Oh, go away, man. you
yeah,
know and
yeah.
they really think that, and it's like socially a thing. So yeah,
And
for real.
the worst part is I can't believe I'm about to admit this on this show, but so I'm single, and being where I'm at, I've had so many people reach out to me and are like, "Hey, I'm really interested in what you talk about. I really
There's
want to
so
get to
many.
know you." And then they're like, within 5 minutes, they're like, "So now you need to buy me this." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "I don't need to buy you anything." And they're like, "Well, if you can't buy this for me, then you don't care about me." And I'm like, the world has
Right?
come to where money is the root of everything. And they have
Yeah.
forgotten what the true essence is. And it's like, and I even said to a couple of them, I'm like, I'm sorry, love wasn't enough. And they're like, no, it's not. You need money to go with it. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Well, first of all,
Pop
people
culture.
who are not spiritual or not open to that, they think that we are weak and gullible and that our emotions are controlling our lives. So they think they were easy victims. That's the first part, I think. Right, sis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Easy targets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I,
We all
I
get
like
it.
this. I like this, Priscilla. You'll like this. Iron Bear 78 says, "You do know they're basically celebrating the birth of a human hybrid, the
Yeah.
star in the sky that follows the three wise men.
Right?
It's a
Mm-hmm.
UFO."
Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
Like Virgin Mary, she got inseminated or something.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Flick of
all
that
I've
finger
said
and boom.
I've said this too.
thank you. Hallelujah. you know, can I get a hallelujah? It's
Oh, I
like
love you.
we should.
I
That's the
mean,
because it
there,
is.
it is amazing how much has actually been pulled over people's eyes, and it's like
I
they
can't take it anymore.
refuse to see it. And it's like, how can you be so blind still to what is right in front of you?
Right.
Hey, did you
Program.
watch the hearings today about the UFOs?
No, because
It
I
was
was of the opinion they're not really going to share anything.
Well, it was kind of good, I thought. I was kind
Oh,
of
really?
excited a few times. Well, I got excited because, the normies, they're like, what's that? And we want to know, like we can take it. And they're like, okay. So like, like they want to know now. They really want to know. And they said that it can take it. And I've been telling them in the sky, I'm like, they're going to be fine. Just do it. Do it now. 1, 2, 3, go.
Right.
Like, okay, everybody, I go,
Yeah.
we go. Everybody got it? 1, 2, 3, go. And I'm like,
Go.
oh, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to go inside.
And
tomorrow.
Iron Bear says also
Yeah.
Kilo's starship is a soft disclosure of a giant TR-3B.
What's that? Kilos.
So TR-3Bs are the secret
Yeah.
space programs, UFOs.
Yeah, the triangle ones.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But what's the thing he was referring to, though?
Kilo
Kilo.
starship?
Uh-huh.
So Iron Bear, can you Kylo Ren. Oh, Kylo Ren.
Oh.
And what's that?
His ship in Star Wars
Oh.
Kylo
is
Ren. Yeah.
TR-3B.
Yeah, well, of course. That's what people say, that it's really like they got information,
Yeah. I will say, though, the one scene in Star Wars that I have no frame of reference for seeing, and if it really would happen, I am like surprised at all get out, is the scene where they were being chased onto the planet and the one admiral turned around and launched hyperdrive right into a dreadnought and shattered like the
What's a
ship into
dreadnought?
2 pieces.
Sorry.
The dreadnought, yeah.
What's that? Sorry for my.
It's like it's like the elite like powder keg that can annihilate a planet in one burst.
Uh-huh. It's a weapon?
It's a ship.
Okay.
And she went into hyperdrive and light speed right through it, and it split it in half. And I'm like, wait a minute, though. If you're in light speed, you've entered into another transit system. So how do you rip through something? You would not. I don't know that would actually be possible.
She wasn't completely transitioned yet. She was on her way to.
In the process of.
Well, their answer to it was she ended up taking her life. That was like her grand sacrifice to keep the rebellion alive, was going into light speed and just killing herself, basically.
It's a good fake death.
Yeah.
It's a Star Wars fake death.
Yeah, because I'm like, I've always pondered that and looked at that. I was like, I don't think that would actually happen.
Who does that?
It's in Star Wars Episode 8, I think, in the beginning.
So the old ones, the first ones?
No, the last trilogy.
Oh, okay. Which is like the beginning, right?
No, it's the end.
Oh.
So they announced first the middle.
I remember the Ewoks. I remember it when I was younger. How old are you?
Star Wars.
I want to know.
They're interesting is because they started in the middle and released that.
Yeah.
Then they flopped, making the original trilogy for a second. So it's like you're watching what led to the middle after the fact, and it's like, wait a minute. And then they were like, okay, let's just end the Skywalker series, and did 3 movies to end the Skywalker saga.
Ones, so.
And it was bizarre the way they did that. I was like, yeah, and they even left stuff out. And so that's where Disney is like, yeah, let's make these little like short movies that will fill in the gaps of all of this. And I'm like,
Disney.
it doesn't
was it
make
Disney
sense.
all along? No.
It was Lucasfilm, and then he sold it to Disney.
Bought it. Yeah, exactly. You got your answer right there, right? It changed hands. So.
The end of A New Beginning, yeah. And they left it.
Like what?
So, but here's the wild thing. And I don't know if either of you have memories or ties to the Orion Wars. And I know watching Star Wars is a biography of the Orion Wars. And so I'm like, yeah, there is so much in there that's alike. And I'm sorry, Priscilla, because you haven't seen it. I'm going to do a spoiler.
Go ahead.
But
Spoil it.
I don't know if Nova has seen it, but the end of the last movie after the galaxy joined and unified and stood up against the massive threat, there's a scene where Rey is on a desert and she uses the Force to create a hole in the sand and puts two lightsabers.
Oh yeah, you
That
told
was
me about
Luke and Leia's, and then buries it back and says, "Yeah, I'm a Skywalker." And I had tears in my eyes the first time I saw that, and I leaned over to my mother because I had told them about being a knight and bearing a weapon that we used because we realized there was no hope for winning, so we just were like gone into hiding. And seeing her do that, I was like instantly like going, oh my god, that's what happened, that's what we did. And it was like so incredible to see it on screen.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like all of these stories, they're just like, it's like the Mandelbrot equation. It's like just like replaying the same things all on and on, you know. So sometimes I guess with the television and all that, you know, when they put misinformation and real information and all of it mixed up to mix you up, well, now you can see it on the screen, so
Yeah.
it makes it pretty real, right?
Yeah, and for all the faults that Disney has, there is one thing I have to say I give them kudos and a lot of credit for, and it's in the Star Wars. And what it is in the beginning when Star Wars was first introduced, everybody was like, the masculine characters are the hero's journey. They're the only ones that have it. This is their story.
Yeah.
Well, then after Disney got it, it's like all of a sudden the world is introduced to, hey, women have hero's journeys. Every character has a hero's journey in these movies. And so it's like, I wonder, how they let that slip out. Because that's like totally against, I think, what their platform is.
Yeah, well, again, you know, double, you know, sword, double-edged sword. Is that how you say it?
Double-edged sword, yeah.
Everything's dual here. So you're able to see the other side. And thank you for saying it, because I, you know.
Yeah, and I gotta admit, Priscilla, I love when you try to get the American colloquialisms. It's so much fun. You're like, hey, yeah, is this how you say that? And I'm like, wait, yeah.
Are you gonna give me an A+ for the effort? Come on.
Yeah. So Iron Bear's asking me, did I use a crystal swords shaped like a samurai sword? Yes. I do have memory of crystal swords, and ironically, my favorite sword is the katana, which is shaped like a samurai sword.
And that's linked to Tartaria also, you know.
Really?
Yeah, and like the assassin, it's like it's like a special league of assassins, I guess, but it's like samurai, you know. Yeah, we'd have to look it up, but it's, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and are they the ones that are like in Jupiter Ascending, the guy that was floating with those shoes and able to zip through the sky and
Oh,
had his
no,
wings
flying
clipped.
boots. No, that's like more like a little bit like a lichen, like a loup-garou, you know? How do you say that?
Gold?
A loup-garou. A loup-garou.
Oh,
It's like a
like
werewolf.
a werewolf.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a cat, like the races of dogs, like canine. Somebody help me. Can I buy a
Yeah.
vial
No,
of
you
The
got
serious,
it.
like Sirius B or Sirius A,
yeah, the dog.
the
Yeah.
dog star
Yep.
people. Yeah.
Like even like Anubis. You know, he's kind of
Mhm.
Yeah,
Anubis.
but because he had wings, does that make him a hybrid or
I mean, did he have real wings, or was
yeah?
it like it wasn't tech? It was
No,
like
they were real wings that
I.
were severed off because he committed a crime, and then in the end,
Mm,
he had them
it feels
restored.
a little bit like fallen angels, also like
Yeah.
vampires. Also would be like fallen angels and drinking blood. And, you know, like.
And speaking of vampires and fallen angels,
Hmm.
whenever I go to like pop my back or just like have my back straight up,
Hmm.
I feel like my shoulder bones are going like this out of my back, protruding like something was lobbed off. And I'm
Oh,
like,
for
I feel like
You
sure.
had wings.
something was there, and I keep think, and I go like this, and I'm like, yeah, the motion's there, but there's nothing back
I
there.
should have wings, you know.
Mhm. I know what you
I
mean.
mean, for sure, you do have wings in another reality, you know. In another
Mhm.
reality, it's like in the astral, it's like in dreams, you can do what you want, you can grow them and ungrow them. It's like, you know.
Yeah, but who, if you were to look at Jupiter ascending for like
It's a good one.
program,
It's really
like
nice.
who you could say is like an example of someone in a program, who would be the character you would look at?
For the guy,
Really?
no, for the man you're talking about, the guy.
Either way, either gender. Who you think represents like someone who we would consider in the secret space program?
I thought Kane would be a good representation of somebody who's
Who?
the guy. Kane.
Yeah, I mean,
Kane.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just I just wanted to be clear we weren't limiting it to one gender. So yeah, the flying guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
No, and
to
I think
me,
he was also like
I
a
look at
hybrid too.
Jupiter.
Oh
I
yeah.
think, I think Jupiter is because she's had her memories wiped. They're
Oh.
stored somewhere else, and she is a whole nother life. And it's like, and I look at that and I'm like, isn't that what we go through?
It
We're
is.
stored somewhere
I
else.
was
We're
gonna
living
say it's a
other.
lot of us. It's all of us, you know.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like we all have um aspects or parts of our consciousnesses that are kind of mixed up.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good choice.
Yeah, I really though I would like to see, and I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if y'all have ever seen like the series or the movies Highlander,
Mm-hmm.
where there can be only one and they sense each other around. I'm like, I personally, I think that would be a great gift to have to sense other people who you've met in like the
You.
programs to be like, hey, I remember you, and be able to like either finish the mission or be like, hey, we're okay now. We don't have to kill each other.
Oh, we're working on it, Michael.
Yeah.
No, I mean, do you guys think that would be cool too to be able to identify others?
Well, we do.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
definitely
so I
do.
haven't gotten to that level yet.
And we definitely work together on certain levels, that's for sure. And I believe that if we would get together in like a group meeting, Zoom. I said that on the other podcast also, like not streaming, not showing it to other people, except like just to meet up together and talk about what we could actually do in real time, like whatever. I think it would be good.
Yeah, and personally, I would like to see the division and the drama disappear.
For real. We would need to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's on everybody, really. It's on every single person that's living on Earth right now to do something about something, anything, just a little thing, whatever you can do. Just do it.
And one thing that I try to do as much as I can on this series, besides sharing my journey that Priscilla knows about and's been instrumental in, so thank you for that.
No problem.
But I see at times aspects where everybody focuses too much on a certain element and others are missed, and so I have taken it on myself starting, I think it was last month or maybe a couple months ago. I get confused on shows. But to start to showcase the women in the programs because they are kick-ass, badass, and doing just about as much or more than the guys are doing.
We're different. Everybody's important, and we're different, and that's important too.
Yeah, and so I'm wanting to do my part to help elevate awareness and being like everyone to stop going, yeah, look at all the guy super soldiers and all the guy programmies, and it's like
well, the girls were more like spies, I think. You know, a lot of us are more like spies. A lot of us are warriors. Also, we have a lot of different aspects and everything, but a lot of the girls are used in the intelligence part, right? That's what I mean. We have different, like in life, like the girls that say that we don't need the guys. I'm like, sure, right? Go build a road or go do like there's like work, like certain things that it's the guys and certain aspects of emotional and mental and everything. We both have certain skills. Like everybody has a part, and I mean, I'm so for. You know, like everybody is so amazing in what they are. You know, like we need both for sure.
I hadn't had a chance to tell Nova this, but I think it was last night. I sensed something around her, and so I was like I told you, Priscilla, I'm like, oh, I'll go do my thing and help out. You know, she's a friend. You know, let's help her out. And like, just as I'm about to like appear, I come to a dead stop and I look, and like everybody that was there is on the ground, and I'm like, damn, Nova.
She already took care of it.
I had a busy night last night, actually. I'm feeling it tonight. To be completely honest, that's why I'm so quiet. I'm just like dead out of it.
Tonight?
Yeah, I'm tired. My head is pounding.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was a long night last night.
And people don't realize what a toll this takes on us.
Hold on, I'm just gonna go close my.
No, it's all. I'm okay. I wish I was more lively.
Nah, you're good, and it's understandable. And oh man,
no,
what
but
a day!
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I've told you I can do that, and so it's like, yeah, I'm like, and I can travel super fast. I'm like nanoseconds. I'm talking. I can be on other sides of the galaxies, and I'm like,
that is so awesome.
Dang.
Right.
Oh, Iron Bear.
That's awesome.
Let's call it a night then. If he has a headache and everything, you know, like I'll come help you after it says if you want.
Yeah, and I'll send some stuff if you want.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. I already feel it.
My ears have been ringing like crazy through things.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
I've been going for an hour and a half, so
Don't apologize. I mean, we got to do what we got to do, and I mean, we've actually gone an hour and a half, so we're right on schedule. So
Exactly.
you're perfectly fine, and so we will call it here. And I feel like we met our objective. I did put in the tagline that we would talk about ancient civilizations, SSP history, and more. I think we did that. So
Everything
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
And I will just say before ending this, I know Nova was on last week, so it's unusual for me to have back-to-back episode guests. So thank you, Nova, for being available. And Priscilla, we talk offline, and I sent her a photo that I took. 3 different photos of it, 2 movies, and we both were like, "Man, you finally got a light ship above your house."
That's amazing.
Finally
You're gonna get
one.
more. You're gonna get more. You know.
Yeah. But I appreciate your guys' support and you guys' willingness to come on and
thank you.
share your experiences. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, really.
You're always welcome on this show.
Thank you. I can't wait for us to
Thank
all
you.
meet like in real life. You know, it's coming though.
Yeah, I think
is.
there will be.
For real. Believe me.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be the way people think it's going to be. Like, I don't think we're going to be standing in like a conference room and being like, "Oh, hey, you know, we're all here." I feel like it's going to be kind of a different welcoming.
Well, I mean, I don't have any expectations, so I don't limit myself to any, because anything is possible. With everything that's already happened, I mean, all is possible. So I always try and keep myself open to the most potent and optimistic, optimal, you know, outcome, reality, stream.
Yeah, I mean,
that I can
look at the fact you're in Canada, we're in America, and here we are talking face to face, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, we're taking what they gave us and putting it to a much better use.
Well, there's always the 2 sides of the coin here, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So with that, I am going to sign us out. And
thank you, everyone. Thank you. Love you guys.
Thank you. And
love you too.
Yeah.
Yes, love and blessings to all of you. And thank you for watching. And we will see you on the next one.
Yeah.